Alan Ross, and I'm the managing editor of APC Technologies. We're here at the IRIS ODSR, which is Operator Driven Safety and Reliability Conference in Sarasota, Florida. We're sponsored by IRIS and SDT, and of course APC Technologies. We've done interviews with thought leaders and with practitioners of the operator-driven safety and reliability programs, and just the idea of changing the way we do what we do in maintenance and reliability in the marketplace. There's some fascinating interviews here. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you learn. My guest at this conference, we're at the ODSR conference, a reliability conference that IRIS is sponsoring. And I just got to ask you, Martin, when I heard you present it, when you were up on the stage, you were talking about it, I thought, oh, that's just brilliant. I wish I'd thought of that. Yeah. But it's the idea when we walk into a place and we say, who's responsible for safety? Everybody. Who's responsible for reliability? Everybody else, right? Yeah. And it makes so much sense. But the idea then of saying, but what about operator-driven? So I want you to tell me where the concept came from, because it's not embedded out in the marketplace. No, it's not. I mean,
operator-driven reliability is a known concept within our field. We know that. And I suppose I spent most of 2022 on the road, and best part of 23 at the moment, and probably into 24. It's all scheduled. So I'm going around the world talking with different companies, getting involved with different clients. And then what we found is that, you know, what dawned on me was we have all these wonderful systems in place, but when COVID hit, it just crashed. So what emerged as a you know, the go-to concept, if you like, was operator-driven reliability. Okay, we've got operators, we have condition-based monitoring equipment such as infrared cameras or vibration meters or, you know, ultrasound guns. So they got the equipment they bought. So operators got involved with helping maintenance to at least manage the risk. Right. You know, there were no shutdowns. There were no, you know, all the shutdown maintenance went away, and it sort of worked on me. That worked in and in and in on me, sort of thing. So I thought, no, that makes sense. Then you and I, obviously, of the school of, I call it the Ron Moore school, because it's his baby, mate. You know what I mean? I mean, I did and I always hype it up. I did Ron's Operational Excellence course, like short course, and it was about 3 days. And that really opened my eyes to the safety and reliability. Even though we've been talking about safety and reliability being one and the same thing, Ron's data from multifacets of industry. It's not just not just oil and gas. I mean, it's a broad spectrum that's not just from him. It's from people like Klaus Black, John. What's John's name from Allied Reliability?
John from Allied. We were at the age. We don't. John from Allied, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Winston LaDave, people like this. He's dragged all of this data over the last 50 years, like Jack Nicholas, all these guys. Doc Palmer. So, you know, Ron became this sort of catalyst of gathering all this information, and all the information shows is that time-based maintenance doesn't work.
Absolutely.
And operator-driven reliability as a concept is underutilized, and if expanded upon, could do a lot more good.
You know, one of the things that you said when COVID hit, the operators took on a greater role. What was the result of that? Because we learned in a laboratory, right? That was life. What was the result of it? The maintenance flew apart. Everything quit, right?
Absolutely, and
well, absolutely not. It all kept working.
Yeah, but exactly. But that's exactly it. I mean, the world didn't stop. The machines kept running. We had an increase in output because no shutdowns. Decrease in maintenance spend.
Decrease in safety incidents.
Exactly. It's like, hang on a minute. So I met Jack Nicholas a few years ago when we was in Washington. And I was talking with Jack about it, and he goes, 50 years ago. And this is probably 50 odd years ago. But Jack's thing was 50 years ago when this came out, he was in the Navy, he was a big proponent of this stuff. And he went, they got it.
50 years
ago. And he
ago,
goes, I was sitting here 50 years later saying, they still got it. but no one did anything. So, it's, if you see things in industry, like Industry 1, Industry 2, Industry 3, Industry 4, they're step changes.
Right.
And I think now we're at the precipice, if you like, of the step change into a reliability-based solution. So much so that, I've looked at all the drivers. What are the drivers for operator-driven reliability now? No manpower.
Yeah.
You try finding a skilled engineer, you can't find them. The pandemic, that was another one. Carbon footprint, another one. There are all of these drivers pushing us along, and it's like you look at it and you go, why aren't we doing this? It makes sense.
Yeah. Well, sponsoring the first operator-driven safety and reliability. Maybe someone's done someone, but I haven't been invited to it, so I don't know. There you go. We're the first to do it. But it's a brilliant concept. We're going to put, I know at APC Technologies, we're going to put some wheels under that bus so it begins to create more movement. I think I'm going to safely add you now to that pantheon of incredible people. Jack Nicholas, Ron Moore, Doc Palmer.
That would be incredibly
flattering. Well, you're now being added to that, because I think it is the step before, if they ever get to 4.0, it ain't going to happen in my lifetime.
No, we're at 3.5 now.
Well, let's get to 3.75, because I think this is it. And I think people will be safer. I think plants will be more reliable, which is more productivity. Because right now it's all about pushing demand, getting production up. So plants can't shut down. I want to switch gears and end with this. We keep talking about industrial. Data centers. Yeah, we have a love, you and I do, for the whole idea of what's happening.
Power.
Yeah,
exactly.
critical power. And a good friend of yours and mine, Mike Doolin, has spoken at this conference.
Yes, he did.
He opened up eyes.
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about safety and reliability for data centers.
Well, obviously, the concept of ODR, as I said, was standpoint, and we know we always talk about safety and reliability, so it just dawned on me, well, why don't we make it operator-driven safety and reliability? Mm-hmm. Then that would give a level of acceptance across multiple fields. I mean, I talk to people and say, look, when I go to data centers, I'm not just talking to the maintenance guy, I want to talk to the safety guy. Right. And if they've got a reliability, I want to talk to them all, because they're all together. I mean, if you look at the trifecta, is it you've got environmental, safety, and
ESG, environment, social, and government,
so
which is safety.
It's all part of it together. But so when you go to data centers, I looked at it and I went, Mike was of the same mindset in this, and we worked on those consortiums years ago for data center, and we want to try and get more into uptime on this concept, because they're looking for it. But the primary driver for me was that data centers building so much redundancy from a fear of loss, so they have an inefficient, time-based maintenance system, which we know doesn't work, and then they build in hundreds of millions of dollars of redundancy to support a system that doesn't work. You understand what I mean? So where we're saying to data centers is, get into an ODSR-based platform, design systems and solutions. I mean, the new NFPA 70B, which went to a standard, they talk about design. There's an IEEE standard, safety by design. Right. There should be reliability by design, and we talk about it in the DFSR. So if you think about that in that mindset, and you look at the ratio of operators to engineers or mechanics, call them what you like, I think the average, if you look at oil and gas, and I've jumped out of data centers, oil and gas you have 20 to 1. Right. Data centers you might have 10 to 1 of operators and things. You can get young apprentices doing this, and I'm pretty passionate about it in another way, because I didn't finish school. You know what I mean? I own a multinational business, but I had to do it the hard way. I didn't finish school. I was stupid, intelligent but stupid. They don't go together. Stupid.
If your mom and dad were able to hear that, now,
absolutely,
they go, we agree.
Absolutely. But where I'm coming from is that there are areas of society that we do not, that people that come, so I grew up in what you would call a project in the East End of London, not a lot of money, but everybody was in the same boat. You're happy in your ignorance.
Yeah.
But schooling and it just wasn't on the map. It was go to work, get some money, and that was it. Feed your family, become part of the income source of the whole family.
Right.
But I see a lot of people, especially in the United States, that have come from those poorer backgrounds that are super intelligent and they're working as operators. And don't get me wrong, operators, we need operators.
Yeah.
But you've got people that, because they haven't had the advantages of a social climb, and I'm not being evangelical on this, you understand what I mean? But they're really bright, these guys. And if the ODSR platform for me is a training platform to recognise these uneducated, classically by not the college education, that can actually learn, get into ODSR and have a career path into engineering and beyond.
Right.
There's ExxonMobil in the Middle East, one of their sites. I read a great paper. They have a ODR platform, training platform to get operators through because they've recognised I ain't got the skill sets anymore. 50% of their engineering came through operations.
Really?
So we're struggling with the silver tsunami and the lab. Let's train from within. Let's support from within. And the money you save doing unnecessary maintenance, take a chunk of that and pay these guys. Incentivise them, because we all got to pay our bills, but incentivise them to move along, and you save a fortune, mate.
Yeah, I heard when the first person I talked to about the concept, when I was talking, I said, yeah, but here's where the pushback's going to be. People are going to go, well, yeah, but you're asking me to do more, and you're paying me the same. And I thought, well, that's probably right. If you're trying to squeeze more out of people, and you're paying them the same, but if companies realize that they can get much more value from people, you know what? They pay for it. They don't. We're not trying to squeeze people. We're trying to expand them. So that's you and I be our social butterfly.
Well, and I just think you have to value them, and it's not very pat on the back. But if they're producing more value, then you need to monetize that. Yeah. There's incentive to do better. There's incentive because you're going to earn a bit more. And some operators do not want to do anything else. God bless them. We need them. We don't want to run out of operators. But, and again, not to be condescending, it's easier to train an operator than an engineer. You know what I mean? Operators, the time taken to get someone into operations is a fraction of the time to get them to a senior engineering position.
Right.
But bring them up through operations, I'm a great proponent of it. So the operator-driven safety and reliability, for me, it's a win-win-win-win all the way down the line, all the way down the line. And you will build a workforce that is so loyal and so committed because you gave them the opportunity. You trusted them, you believed in them, and you gave them an opportunity.
I'm sold. Martin, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem.